Do you believe that technology or technological breakthroughs are always good, or can you conceive of technology as not being very helpful to society?
The young children who are still venturing out of social media are yet to discover the nitty-gritties and the evil effects of the social media. If any technology is invented by the researchers, they just do it in with a bona fide intention. For urban Indian women, I feel that employment parity is a problem, the biggest issue that is faced by the urban women. There are some repercussions with the AI where there are problems of plagiarism, misinformation and deepfakes as we're seeing, rising danger of cyber crimes. Even with the technology of genetically modified crops, we do run a risk of probably loss of biodiversity. A balance between restriction and an innovation would really help the country.
What is the biggest issue in your view facing urban Indian women, and what is the biggest issue facing rural Indian women?
So for urban Indian women, I feel that employment parity is a problem, the biggest issue that is faced by the urban women. And for the rural Indian women, I feel, sir, that there is the patriarchy would be the biggest problem that they have to face. Should I be able to elaborate on these two?
No, I think patriarchy is not an issue, right? Patriarchy is a system of beliefs and it is not one issue. And if you ask a rural Indian woman what is the biggest problem, she will never say patriarchy is my biggest problem, right?
Yes.
Just as in urban, again, I was thinking, that you would talk of women's safety, physical safety, but that's all right. What do you understand by investment demand and consumption demand, and investment-led growth and consumption-led growth?
So investment-led growth would be primarily driven by our private and the government, where we try to increase the capacity and the asset of the country, and it leads to a multiplier effect, and that is what the government is currently pushing for. However, the consumption-driven economy, which is currently the state of the economy, is basically dependent upon how we are having our expenditure more driven towards consumption. That is 60% of our GDP through an expenditure method is coming from consumption.
Let us talk about artificial intelligence. What do you see as, not in terms of just that's been, what being talked about but you as an IIT Bombay graduate who would have thought of this, what do you think about artificial intelligence for India? Is it something that's going to be helping us a lot, and in what sectors? Or it's going to be a problem for us, and how?
So I feel that artificial intelligence does promise a lot of potential for the country. For example, in the medical research, we have been seeing the Tata Memorial Research recently giving out how AI can be used to detect cancer. We are also moving ahead for an AI mission where we want to make India as a computational hub to provide computation as a service. So, sir, it does provide a good potential to the country. And sir, there are some repercussions with the AI where there are problems of plagiarism, misinformation and deepfakes as we're seeing. But sir, with technology, there is a downside to it also, but we can create methods to even curb that. We are working towards the global platform for artificial intelligence that was recently held. So sir, a balance between restriction and an innovation would really help the country.
What about its impact on employment, on entry-level knowledge workers, and on knowledge workers whose output is of a more or less routine nature?
So it does pose a problem towards the workers who are at the lower end of the value chain, where there is a risk of automation. But sir, I feel that there will be a requirement of upskilling of the population, where we would require more people to use this AI technology. For example, if there is a drone working in the field, there will be 4 people required at the back end to actually run it or service it. So there will be a new avenue of employment generated with the technology. However, I feel that upskilling would be a very will be the dire need to not let the lower end workers go into waste?
You know, there are part of the thing is that it's politically incorrect to say that a technology may not be entirely good. I'm not saying that of artificial intelligence, but I'm just speaking generally. Do you believe that technology or technological breakthroughs are always good, or can you conceive of technology as not being very helpful to society?
So technology does have a contribution in improving our efficiency, but yes, as I feel too that there will be a downside to some technologies where things get misused. For example, even with the coming of internet, we have the rising danger of cyber crimes. Even with the technology of genetically modified crops, we do run a risk of probably loss of biodiversity. So there will be a downside for technology. It is very difficult to. There might be technologies that only have a good part, but I feel that we need to understand how it can be misused.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, all technology is traditional and new can be misused, can be put to a bad use. So I'm not talking of bad use of a technology. I'm talking of a technology which is the essential purpose of which itself raises questions about its social desirability. What do you think about it? Like Meta's big bet on virtual reality. They spend large sums of money. Apple has brought out some device and people can create virtual environments and live their life there. What do you think of that?
Sir, looking at the technology of virtual reality, I feel that still the intention was right in making people more creative and having an immersive experience in their gaming or in their digital identity that they have. However, there has been reports also of bad use. But sir, I feel that if any technology is invented by the researchers, they just do it in with a bona fide intention. So I don't feel that. I've not come across a technology that has been invented with a bad intention. So
no, I did not say that the intention is bad. But the result, the technology as it is seen, I mean, the stated intention of Meta is to have you live in virtual reality.
Yeah.
Right? Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm asking for your view.
So, having an immersive experience in a virtual reality does provide a good form of entertainment, and so I don't feel that it's completely wrong. However, this sticking to a virtual reality can make us escape our actual problems, actual realities, and that can lead to an addiction, which makes us less productive.
Yes, and as alienated individuals who live in their own private world in virtual reality.
Definitely.
And that's been seen to happen in social media a lot. People are writing about it a lot.
Yes, sir.
But no, that's just, I just wanted to hear what you feel about it. There is a lot of hand-wringing about teenagers particularly, that they're spending a lot of time on social media and on Facebook and whatever, Instagram, Facebook, and that it's alienating, it's cutting them off. I wanted to understand from you, do you think the young have the same perspective? Those who are not so young like us think this is deeply alienating. But do the young also feel that social media and is cutting them off from a lot of stuff that they would otherwise want to do? Or do they welcome it? It's the general statement. People differ, of course.
Yes, sir. Sir, I feel that people of at least my age who have been using social media for some time have been accepting of the alienating factor that you said. The young children who are still venturing out of social media are yet to discover the nitty-gritties and the evil effects of the social media. There are also campaigns on social media itself where people say that we are trying to start our day without a social media, we're trying to detox. So there is an awareness that is coming on the social media regarding the ill effects and the distorted reality that it provides.